Hello everyone, welcome back to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Today I will be showing you my new and improved elemental dual blade sets that use new armor pieces and skills from Title Update 1. I will also be touching on the augmentations that I have gotten for my weapons and armor to improve these sets even further. Before we hop into the sets themselves, I want to talk about switch skills. I really never use the switch scroll swap, so I'm basically always on my red scroll. Here we're going to be using Demon Flight, which means we're going to be doing the aerial playstyle, combining with Spiral Slash to get the chain crit and get the most element damage out of these sets. We're also going to be using Demon Mode, because this gives us a percentage increase to our elemental damage. For Round Slash combo versus Slide Slash, it's basically just personal preference. I happen to prefer Round Slash, so that's what I use, and then I use Shrouded Vault for our counter. Our first set is going to be the Fire Elemental set. Here we're going to be using the Magma Shredders for Magma Almudron. These are going to be giving us the highest Fire Elemental damage, as well as a very good chunk of White Sharpness. The Rampage decoration that we're going to be putting on is the Element Exploit one for more elemental damage. For augmentations here, I'm just going to be adding extra affinity and fire element damage. For the headpiece, we're going to be using the Kaiser Crown. It should be noted that I have augmented one of the 1-slot decoration slots to a 2-slot so that I can fit in a crit boost here. So if you don't do that, you're going to be having to put a crit boost somewhere else, but besides that, I have fire attack slotted in. For the chest piece, we're going to be using the new Silver Rathalos chest piece. This is going to be on almost every single one of these sets. Here I have slotted in Evade Extender for my personal preference, crit boost, and then a point of speed sharpening. Augmented on here, I have one of the 3 slots upgraded to a 4 slot, but I'm actually not taking advantage of that on this set. For the arms, I have the Silver Rathalos arms. These are going to be having Stamina Thief slotted in the 4 slot, and then 2 points of speed sharpening. Now, the reason we're using these are for the new skill Element Exploit, which currently we have level 2. And that's going to give us a 12.5% elemental damage increase when we are hitting weak spots on the monster. So you're really going to want to be making sure that you look at which spots on the monster are weak to which element and using the correct element in order to get the most damage out of these sets. Back to the set. For the waist, we have the final boss waist. Here I have Constitution slotted in, again just personal preference, and then augmented on some extra defense. And then for the legs, we have the Kadachi Greaves. It should be noted I have a point of coalescence slotted in here, augmented on here rather, which is very nice as coalescence happens to proc a lot during hunts if you get rid of any affliction you may have on you. And then slotted in I have weakness, exploit, and flinch free. The talisman on this set is going to be an attack boost, level 2, Wirebug Whisper, level 2. This happens to just be the best talisman I have, and all I really needed to do was slot in the extra crit boost. So if you don't have this talisman or one similar, all you really need is a 2 slot to get that last point of crit boost here. Here you can see all those skills shown together. So we have level 6 Crit Eye, full fire attack, Constitution, crit boost, Wex, critical element, Stamina Thief, speed sharpening, and then level 2 attack boost, evade extender, wirebug whisper, element exploit, and chain crit. The most important skills here obviously are going to be the fire attack maxed out, crit eye at a pretty high level, full crit boost, the Wex is super important, and then the element exploit of course for that elemental damage as I talked about, and then chain crit because this is also going to be boosting our element damage by quite a bit. And then down here, we just have a lot of level 1 skills that are augmented on or slotted in, and that is all personal preference. Our next set is going to be the Ice Elemental set. Here we are using the Deoris Ventus. Augmented on here, I have the affinity, and then for those last 2 slots, I'm going to just increase the ice attack damage. And we have the exact same Rampage decoration, the Element Exploit one. For the headpiece, we have the final boss armor headpiece again. Here you see I've slotted in Evade Extender as is my personal preference, and then for this set in particular, because we have purple sharpness on the weapon, but only a small portion, we're actually going to be running Protective Polish, so I have 1 point of Protective Polish slotted in here. For the chest, you're going to see the same Silver Rathalos chest quite a bit. Here I have slotted in Critical Boost and Weakness Exploit, and then Augmented is the exact same one, but I'm again not taking advantage of that extra 4 slot decoration here. For the hands, we have the Kushala Grip. We are using these because it gives us 2 points of Kushala Blessing, which gives us a 10% increase to our ice attack, which is obviously very good. And all we have slotted in here is 3 points of the ice attack, so pretty simple. It should be noted, however, that 2 of these 1-slot decorations are augmented in, so if you don't have these, you're going to have to fit that extra ice attack somewhere else. I'm also using the Final Boss Waist. Here, the augmentation is nothing special, and I've slotted in Speed Sharpening. Again, for that Protective Polish, Speed Sharpening is very nice as it decreases the time that you're going to have to be away from the fight. And then we're going to be using the Kodachi Greaves again. Augmented on here is Coalescence and Marathon Runner, and then slotted in is Critical Boost and another point of Ice Attack. For the talisman here, I happen to have a Protective Polish Talisman, level 2. If you don't have one of these, I'd recommend using one of those 4-slot decorations that I didn't put to use earlier, and crafting the new 4-slot Protective Polish, which gives you 2 levels, and then using a different talisman to slot in either the Critical Boost or Weakness Exploit that you might be missing. And then I also have slotted in a Critical Element and 1 point of Defiance. Again, here are all those skills shown together. I have full Ice Attack, Crit Boost, Wex, Critical Element, which you're all going to need, and then 3 points of Protective Polish and Speed Sharpening. You're going to want to make sure that's on during the entire fight, so you have that purple Elemental Multiplier on your set. Then I have Evade Extender level 2, the Kushala Blessing level 2, which you're going to need for that extra Ice Attack, Chain Crit again, which is very important. And then down here, we're going to only have 1 point of Element Exploit on that set, but it's still very good as it gives us 10% extra elemental damage on weak points. For our third set here, we're going to be taking a look at the Thunder set, which is just a little bit different from the other sets, as we're going to be using a mix of Ibushi and Narwa pieces in order to get points of Storm Soul, which gives us 15% Thunder Attack at level 3, and then we're going to be going up to level 4, which increases all the levels on the armor pieces we have by +1. So starting with the weapon, we have Narwa's Double Discharge. Here you can see I've augmented it from a 2-slot Rampage decoration to a 3-slot, so I can fit that exact same element exploit in there, and then I have +3 Thunder Attack. For the helmet, we're going to be using the Ibushi helm. It should be noted that I've augmented 2 extra 1-slot decorations here, and in those I've put 2 points of Thunder Attack. And then I've also slotted in Weakness Exploit. For the chest, we have the exact same Silver Rathalos chest. You've seen this augmentation before, and in it I have slotted Critical Boost and Thunder Attack. For the hands, we have the Ibushi hands. Here I've augmented on an extra 1-slot decoration again, so I can put in another point of Thunder Attack, and then I have Wex slotted in. For the waist, I have the Ibushi waist. Nothing special on the augmentation here, just some extra defense, and then I have slotted in the last point of Weakness Exploit. For the legs, we have the Narwa legs. Here I have Critical Boost slotted in, and nothing special on the augmentation. For my talisman, because there's no chain crit anywhere on any of the armor pieces, and it's such a good skill for these elemental sets, I've taken my one talisman that I have that has a point of chain crit. 1 point is enough as it still gives you great value, and then I've slotted in Critical Element to the last point of Thunder Attack and Flinch Free. Here you can see all those skills shown together. I have full Thunder Attack, Critical Boost, Wex, Critical Element, which we're going to have. Here you can see that level 4 Storm Soul, which is going to give us level 2 of quite a few different skills here. We have very good skills for dual blades such as Marathon Runner, Constitution, Stamina Surge, Evade Extender, and then here we have level 2 Element Exploit, which is very good, and then you can see that level 1 Chain Crit coming from the Talisman. For our fourth set, we have the Water Dual Blades. Here we're going to be using the Med Shredders. Augmented on here, I have the extra affinity, and then for those last 2 slots, I'm just going to put on more water attack. Again, I have that same Rampage decoration, the Elemental Exploit one. For the headpiece, I'm using the Final Boss head. Slotted in is Evade Extender and Critical Element. Augmented on here is 1 point of Stamina Thief and a little extra defense. Here's that same Silver Rathalos chest you've already seen a few times. Slotted in is Crit Boost and a point of water attack. Again, we're going to be using the Kushala Grip because, as you may remember, those 2 points of Kushala Blessing give us plus 10% to water attack as well, so we're going to be using those. Here I have augmented on 2 extra 1-slot decorations, which let me get 3 points of water attack onto these. For the waist, we're going to be using the final boss waist. Here I have once again slotted in Constitution, that's just a personal preference, and then augmented on a little extra defense. For the legs, we're going to be using the Kodachi Greaves. Here's slotted in is Critical Boost and Stamina Thief, and then augmented on is Coalescence and Marathon Runner. For the talisman, we're actually going to be using a Critical Eye talisman here. I would suggest using whatever talisman works for you. If you don't have those extra 1-slot decorations that I pointed out earlier, you could just use a talisman that has a 3-slot and a 2-slot to get all those water attack points in, or just use a talisman with 2 2-slots to get as much Critical Eye as possible. Here you can see all those skills together again. We have Crit Eye level 5, full water attack, crit boost, Wex, and critical element. Then we have level 3 Constitution and Stamina Thief. We have a couple points of Resentment, Evade Extender. Here's that important Kushala Blessing again, and 2 points in Chain Crit. And then a bunch of augmented skills on, and then that 1 point of all-important Element Exploit. For our final set here, we're going to be taking a look at the Dragon Element set. If you saw my last video, you'll be thinking this looks exactly the same, which it basically does. We're going to be using the full Valstrax set and the Valstrax weapons. I have not augmented these yet, but on them I'm going to put the extra affinity and then extra dragon element attack. Here's the different rampage decoration that we use specifically for this set, which is the Valstrax Soul. This gives us extra damage when we are inflicted with Dragon Blight, which means we're going to be having to remain at 80% health or less during the hunt in order to inflict Dragon Blight upon ourselves. For the headpiece, we have the Valstrax Helm. Here I have slotted in Critical Element level 2 in the 4 slot, and then Dragon Attack level 2 in the 1 slots. Augmented on is just a little extra defense. The Valstrax Chest, I have Evade Extender slotted in with another point of Dragon Attack. Again, just more defense on these. For the arms, we have the Valstrax Braces. Here I've slotted in Critical Boost, and then nothing special on the augmentation. The Valstrax Coil is going to be our waist piece. Here I have slotted in Critical Element and another point of Dragon Attack. The augmentation gives me an extra point of Evade Extender, which is just nice for mobility here. For the legs, we have the Valstrax Greaves. Here slotted in is Critical Boost and another point of Dragon Attack. The augmentation here gives us Master Mounter. That's not really a big deal, something nice to have though. For our talisman, we're going to be using the Crit Eye talisman again, just trying to get as much affinity on possible on the weapons, and then I have 2 points of Stamina Thief slotted in. This is really just personal preference. I happen to want to get my affinity up. Here are all the skills shown together. Again, because we're running the Valstrax gear, we're going to be having full Resentment and Dragonheart, which means you are going to want to be at less than 80% health for the duration of the fight in order to get that attack increase. We also have Crit Eye level 3, full Crit Boost, full Wex, full Critical Element, and then we have full Evade Extender, a couple points of Stamina Thief, and then Master Mounter. I hope these builds help you in your hunts. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below as I respond to every single one I get. And to show off how much damage these builds really can do, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay in order to show you how I combo my attacks together. Enjoy.
Show them what hunters are made of! Here it comes! This is gonna hurt! You're done for! Let's see how you handle this!